2 years ago today, The Rock showed up on Raw. Ironically, it was in Chicago. One Raw show we didn't go to. I'm still kicking myself for that. But it was 2 years ago today. The Rock showed up, and that's when he beat the living hell out of Cody on his tour bus in the rain. That was like the final boss. 2 years ago today. How do you look back at that time? Do you think you look at it more fondly now? Do you think you are overhyping it to what it was in the moment? Because in the moment, I'm like, yo, man, Rock is probably now, if he was not in my Mount Rushmore, he is now because of the work of the final boss. So looking back now, 2 years ago, what you think?
That's really hard to try to look past how terrible WrestleMania 41 was, or when he was supposed to maybe show up but didn't show up. So it's really hard to look back at that moment because that was absolutely, he was already my GOAT. He was already my Mount Rushmore. So he was already on there. He doesn't lose it. He doesn't lose the Mount Rushmore spot for me at all. But it's almost like the John Cena final year of his career, and how do you take anything away from his legacy from that? I'm going to stay 10 toes down and still feel that he's still GOAT status. I think another year from now removed, I probably won't be as upset about what didn't happen last year. So I think I'm okay. I think it's status quo, how I felt in that moment, final boss, as I am today. But that takes a lot of growth. But I think I'm the same.
Growth.
A-
Kids was
A
calling
year
it
ago,
cinema,
no.
man. It was like, this is cinema every week. Cinema, the bloodline was cinema. We went to go see Project Hail Mary, speaking of cinema, yesterday. Incredible movie. 10 out of 10. Must go see. I plan on going to see it again. I'm not one of those that has to go see a movie a second time in the theater, but I'm locked in. So we get home, and I'm really in my science bag, right? So we've been watching the Wi-Fi's on YouTube at night. And I came across this video. It was 13 unknown facts about the TV show, The Twilight Zone. I actually fell asleep to that video. I don't even remember 4 through 12. But I remember waking up this morning, and I'm like, the Twilight Zone is exactly what I feel like with the CM Punk Roman Reigns storyline.
Let's go.
I feel like we're in the fucking Twilight Zone right now. Welcome to the TFW podcast. That's Freaking Wrestling, episode 242. Your favorite talker out in these wrestling streets, Matt, joined by the beautiful woman, the incredible Rhodesia, calling Rhodesia around these parts.
Hey.
Shout out to our freaks, man. Listeners, supporters of the pod. Hey, 2 weeks ago, I said, hey, we need some ratings on the audio side. And shout out to everybody who left star ratings. We have some new star ratings. And shout out to Neezy, the listener. I just want to put on here what you said. Said nothing but bangers, 5 stars, baby. Honestly, since I got back into wrestling this past decade, this podcast has been the best thing going. Great takes, hilarious commentary, and each episode is always entertaining. But most importantly, a great group of hosts that I can tell they really and truly love wrestling. Shout out to Neezy, the listener.
Neezy.
We appreciate you. We love you. Shout out to everybody. So y'all know what to do, man. I keep telling y'all, if y'all like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, like on your screen, comments, do all of it. All of it helps out us tremendously on this road that we are on. We are not on the road to WrestleMania, but we were on the Black Guy Wrestling podcast this past Sunday night. Shout out to all my guys over there. Lo, really good guy, reached out, probably over a month ago now, a couple months ago. I think we were in Spain, actually, when he initially reached out and, wanted to do a collab. And we had to move things around a few different times. And we finally got it done this past Sunday. So if you have not checked out their platform, their podcast, please do so. They are on Twitter, Black Guy Wrestling Podcast. They are on YouTube. They are on Spotify. They are on Apple Podcasts. So kind of like us, anywhere you can find podcasts, they are there and we are there. We did about 2.5 hours on Sunday. Really, really fun show. So shout out to everybody over there in the BGW.
What up, though?
Well, this is when I typically say, let's talk some freaking wrestling. And then we go into Block A, which is always like the biggest news to us and typically in the wrestling world.
This is a point of contention, though, what Block A is today for a couple of reasons.
Point of contention, because what we're going to do today, effectively, we're going to bury the lead. Because if we start with Roman Reigns and CM Punk, the show could really get off the rails, right?
And chat you'd be right about you.
From back in December would be 100% accurate about what our show is. I don't want to do that. It's a new year. Want to be more positive.
Maybe.
Okay. Let's start with Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar, damn it.
Let's go.
A storyline and a feud that is actually doing what it needs to do.
But only to set y'all up for heartbreak. Only to set y'all up for heartbreak.
There you go again.
I'm going to come on here and be like, I told you so. I told you so. I already have a I told you so that I'm going to drop on today's episode.
You ready?
But I'm going to tell you again, come Mania, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. 2 times? Got that man out there looking like a bitch. Oh, there ain't no way Oba's winning Mania now. Ain't no way. You can't tell me Brock's not going to beat him at WrestleMania.
Well, we're not getting to the finish yet, man. We're getting to
well, we're burying the leads. We might as well get to the point.
No, we're getting to the proper build. And 2 weeks now in a row, the best thing on the show has been Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. I do want to shout out Paul Heyman. Some of his best work in a long time. And when I say long time, that is relative, especially for Heyman. I'm not saying years, but probably easily his best work since he cut the promo for Bron Breakker back in December surrounding the match Bron was going to have with Punk on the first Raw show of the year. Easily since then. And I think that's more to do with just the Vision storyline and everything we've been there. But he did a tremendous job in that promo. Really did a great job of setting the stage for Oba Femi being the next big thing, hyped, overhyped, overrated, and then really painting the picture for us of look at the other people that was supposed to be the next big thing. It was supposed to get their get back on Brock Lesnar. And they did not, right? Loved him mentioning Dean Ambrose. What a response from the crowd. What a response from the crowd when he mentioned Dean Ambrose. So I thought he did a fantastic job of really painting that picture of like, yeah, there's a world where Brock Lesnar wins and then that's it. There is no going back and forth, that whole thing. Oba comes back out, as we saw the week before, and he's walking to the ring, and holy shit, I'm like, yo, they're cutting all these people in the crowd who's doing the Oba strut.
I'm telling you, everybody rocking it. Everybody's rocking it.
And I'm like, man, and we knew they had something. They have something with Oba. We knew before he even got to the main roster. But I was like, oh, okay, this is a little different. That's a little different than just everybody yeeting, right? Because when you yeet, you get lost into the entire crowd of yeeting, right? Like if you are yeeting and everybody else is yeeting, you're not yeeting, right? You're just moving around. When you strutting, you don't give a damn if that camera hits you. You like, you know what? Yeah, this feels good to me right now.
You feeling yourself in that moment.
It was feeling good to a lot of them in that crowd from the age of 3 to 63. Everybody doing the open strut. But he comes out, so he's about to get to the ring. And I even said to you out loud, I said, okay, do we do wrestling 101 here? Booking 101. And that's why this is working too. Very simple story they're telling, right? But do you have Oba get the best of Brock again? Or do you have Brock cut him off right now? So I'm saying this in real time, and I'm like, well, Oba's going to get the best of him again, and then Brock probably gets the best of him in New York next week.
Okay.
Right? And when that happened, of course, Brock kicks him in the gut, tries to go for the F5, which I always love the spot of like the big man having a hard time picking up somebody. This man can pick up the Big Show when he was 500 pounds, but he's struggling picking up
Allegedly,
Oba Femi. It's cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. Brock, then, well, Oba floats over, kicks him out of the ring. He's out of the Royal Rumble. And I'm always going to put Brock Lesnar over when Brock Lesnar deserves to be put over. And he deserves to be put over for these last 2 weeks. Brock went out of that ring head first. If you are not Brock Lesnar, you're probably breaking your neck and you're probably paralyzed. He took a head first dive out of the ring and then turns his body to show just that shocked face of, yo, he did it to me again. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So much so, I saw people saying the hell would have put this as one of the main events of WrestleMania.
Twilight Zone for sure then. Twilight Zone. See who could measure the biggest, huh?
So what you thinking? So now, we've had 2 weeks of this. We've had 2 weeks of Orton and Cody. We'll talk about Orton and what he did later on the show on this past SmackDown. We've now had 5 weeks of Punk and Roman.
Is that real?
So would you agree at this point those are the top 3 matches for you that's been announced? Or do you have another match?
Big matches and kind of like what I'm most looking forward to could be different. So as far as big matches, big marquee matches, absolutely. I think those are the big 3. I mean, you can also throw in Drew and Jacob, but yeah, I could definitely see someone saying
not officially announced yet, so I don't want to put that in there.
Oh, okay.
We know what's going to happen, but it's not officially announced because they may be dead.
So then absolutely,
so you got to talk about that too, right? They just jumped off the building on the
I got something for that too.
Orton goes.
I got something for that too. The Twilight Zone.
Okay, so those are the top 3. Rank them for me. As of right now, today is March 25th. You're most looking forward to top 3 matches. Put them in order.
See, again, that's just such a different question. This exact moment as we record in episode 242, I'm going to
go start with number 3.
Go 3?
Yep.
Okay, so I put Oba, Brock 3.
So you got Oba, Brock 3. Right now, I am going as my 3rd. Oh, right now. So okay, this is my own question. I gotta get caveats. This is my own question, but I need caveats to this. So I wasn't even planning on answering it. I was just going to throw it to you. So that number 3 of what you're most looking forward to, that has nothing to do with match quality, right? Or is that
correct? This
including
is
match quality?
Looking forward
so
to. That's strictly... like it's like a favorite type thing, like what you feel, what you like, what you're looking forward to in wrestling. That's coming
because of what they're doing on TV, the work they're doing telling the story, right?
I would imagine it has to be that because because we know I don't like Brock, and so of course I love Oba, but Oba's just so brand new. He's still a rookie, so I don't think there's enough fan investment in him for him to naturally be number 3 for me. So it would have to be based off of the storytelling. It has to be.
Okay, so if this is based off the storytelling,
well, no. I'm not saying for every single one of them. No, because then this could be one based off of storytelling. But no, for right now.
Well, that's how I'm answering it. That's what I'm saying in terms of how do you rank them now in the top 3. Okay, right. Looking forward to based off of what they're showing us so far.
No,
number 3 for me. I'm saying for me.
Caveats.
That's what I'm going to do. For me, number 3 right now is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
Yep. I knew he was going to say that. Yep. That would be my number 2.
So so your number 2 is Punk and Roman.
Right.
My number 2 is Oba and Brock.
Cool. So we aligned at 1.
So we both have Cody and Orton as number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And again, mine's of the looking forward to is I'm really hoping Randy gets his 15. So mine's
Sure.
is rooted in, and not even, they didn't have to have any good storytelling. It's just purely my wanting him to get number 15.
I think you may still feel different. If they came out and already shit the bed in the first 2 weeks, you'd be like, I'm over this. I mean, because that is a big part of the story, right? That's maybe the crutch of the heel turn. I need 15.
Sure, but
you know what I'm
but
saying?
he still would. But it's still a fact that the fact of the matter, whether you tell the story proper or not, in our eyes, it would be the fact is he's going for number 15. So to me, regardless on how bad they shit the bed, I probably would still say I probably would put Roman over him if they told a better story. That probably like the only one. Other than that, Orton when getting 15 would be what I'm looking most forward to.
I want to revisit this, maybe even as early as next week. They're in the Garden next week.
After SmackDown.
They're definitely going to have...
Just Raw? Is it the Garden? Just Raw?
Yeah. They're definitely going to have some big angles. Even maybe we don't do next week. Maybe we do in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
It'd be fun also to even see if there's another match that leapfrogs those 3. You know, that's officially announced that we're looking forward to. But bravo to they've done everything right so far. They've done everything perfect so far. Very interesting. Very interesting. So I clipped up the clip of us talking about Oba and Brock, where you said, hey, we need to take our wins as we get it now.
Yeah.
Brock is winning at WrestleMania. Put him up on TikTok. And shout out to everybody who follows us on TikTok and, of course, X and Instagram and YouTube.
Shout out.
But the majority of the TikTok commenters was on some Brock is winning because...
Oh, they were?
Yes, because
okay, I thought they was raking me over the coals.
Not going to put a black man over Brock Lesnar.
Whoa, that's too much. Wait,
they was giving it up.
No.
They was giving it up.
No. The only reason is because Oba's a rookie. Oba's a rookie. And if we're not saving Brock for Gunther or whatever, because like you said, maybe they're not married to that, whatever. The fact of the matter is Oba's a rookie. Oba can take a loss from Brock.
Mm-hmm.
He can. It just is what it is.
But
if he beats
right
Brock,
now, not
but
yet.
He can if he beats
because we haven't seen him take a loss yet, so you don't know that. He's not Teflon. But if Brock can take a loss from Oba, he can take a loss from Oba.
I'm not disagreeing with that either, but I'm just saying that at the same time, Oba does not need to win against Brock for him to lose any. I'm just being honest with you. He is a rookie, and he's been getting his 2 weeks now in a row. Got Brock looking like a straight bitch. Like Oba is okay because, like I said a couple of weeks ago, Oba beats Brock. Yeah, there's no title, official championship on the line, but Oba beats Brock. Where does Oba go from there? I mean, so then who?
Baby? That's where he goes.
I get okay. Well, okay. So then he's gonna then blow through everybody for how long then? Who else would be
until he gets the championship?
You know how it's the saying, like, and I think it's usually in fighting. I think I've heard it mostly in fighting. Give me that first L so I can get that monkey off my back. That's just how I look at it. Oh, but if your first loss, so now you don't have to worry about this undefeated streak, is against Brock, I think that's okay because you had to, again, break glass in case of an emergency, Top Gun, outside of The Rock. You have Brock come out. For you, it's okay if you lose to him because you brought the biggest gun that you had.
So as a fan, take him out. You aren't mad. So if
as a fan, I don't like Brock. So yes, I would be mad.
And Brock are
I was mad when he called him a boy.
Match 1, night 1, right? So it is
match 1, night 1, which I think they could
whatever
be.
time it is. I think it's 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Mm-hmm.
Come
3 or 4, yeah.
3:22 p.m. That's after entrances. That's after beginning pyro and all of it. Match is over. And Brock Lesnar standing tall over Oba Femi, reminiscent to WrestleMania 30, when Brock Lesnar stood tall over The Undertaker. When we record night 1 reaction, you are not going to be upset, is what you're saying.
Probably not. Not just because so far they haven't dropped the story. They haven't shitted the story. So again, even and I don't want to talk about that yet because we're still burying it, but even if Punk wins over Roman, I still won't be mad as long as what they tell in that match, that story and leading up at this point, and he wins, he being Punk, I'm okay with it because soap operas, movies, we don't always get what we want in this type of stuff. I know that the adage is send the crowd home happy. Granted, you talking about match 1, that's different than the final match. I don't really give a shit about that either. I want the best entertainment writing that you can get because you still have me as a fan. This is not like a one and done. I'm going to continue watching. So if you can leave me on a cliffhanger like WrestleMania 39 where Roman beats Cody Rhodes, that's pretty darn amazing because we saw what happened after that. But even beforehand, you had the foresight. I had a foresight listening to kind of your arguments about it of why it made more sense for Roman to win the bad guy. So as long as you could tell the story fine, then I'm okay. Now, what happened with Brock and Undertaker was something totally different. And that probably is the only time in my life of professional wrestling where I was like shoot angry and literally I actually wanted to leave WrestleMania
Come on, we're
and
leaving.
go back to the hotel.
No, we're not leaving.
No, I didn't say we. I said I'm leaving.
Yeah, good luck in the Superdome. You couldn't even get through the crowd. All 4'11" of you, ma'am. You need somebody with height to navigate. So you wasn't going anywhere. You was sitting there pouting like a little kid, boy.
And I wasn't even heartbroken. I was angry. Like that was anger. I see why some people be going crazy on the internet. So I would never like wish death on nobody, but I definitely wish the cold on Brock Lesnar for sure.
Cold
or diarrhea, one or the other.
So bravo Heyman,
Yes.
bravo Oba, bravo Brock. Looking forward to next week to see when we start getting some heat back for Brock. And then the story surrounding that. Does he have to cheat? Does he have to jump him? Right? Like that's fun. That's gonna be some good stuff.
Yeah.
I tried. It's 22 minutes in now.
I think we did pretty good.
You know what I mean? Like
screw really you, ChatGPT. Screw you.
I really feel like that was enough time. Kumbaya, because everybody knows outside of the pod, I am one of the more. Wouldn't you say I'm one of the more positive people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Like, you know what I mean? Like, always see the best in every situation. And some of that probably comes across on the pod too. But I just wanted to make sure we did our job in episode 242 here. So I think we can like start the real show now.
Welcome to the TFW pod episode 242. You got your favorite talkers here in the street. You got Matt over there to my right, looking handsome, debonair with his salt and pepper going on. And
hey, talk to him about
you
it.
don't need a just for men on him because he is a man, okay? And you got Rhodesia, your favorite talker's wife over here. Let's start the show.
That was awesome. I like that.
Yeah, but I kind of didn't like how I said it either. I'm more than just a wife. Hold on, let's start all over again.
Baby, you are way more. No. Maybe next week. Okay. If they shit the bed again, we'll lead and we'll bury the lead again. And then you can do it. Okay.
I think this is when you start with the good though. Still to kind of still give it to ChatGPT. I think we should still start with the good stuff of it.
Okay. If we're going to start with the good.
Yeah.
Fantastic physicality.
Yes.
Fantastic physicality.
Yes.
You couldn't ask for much more physicality. You really couldn't.
I think that probably was the cleanest, most beautifulest, that's not even a word, power bomb through announcer table I think I've ever seen Roman do. Even over Cody Rhodes times. I mean, the way he just snapped him up there and put him through.
There's a reason why. Them tables don't work the way them other tables used to work. Okay? You got to put some force behind them tables.
100%,
Punk
yes.
attacked the table like he needed to. Roman did his thing like he needed to with the powerbomb. But we got to make sure this table breaks. And these tables don't work as easy as the other tables. These ain't the punk-ass Slim Jim tables. And it ain't the old announced tables of old. Right? We got to do what we got to do. Boy, Superman punched to the back of the head. First time I seen that one. They was on some, you give it to me. Physicality was fantastic. Okay, are we done with the positivity now?
Actually, that's the only thing I have positive was the most
All
very
right.
beautiful power bomb I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
I can start the
Okay.
episode over again if you want.
You know that meme? The little black dude? And he's like writing and he's thinking.
Oh yeah, I love him. He be
You know, and
calculating
then-
too. Oh,
right,
he be
he's
calculating
calculating
too.
and he's kind of thinking.
Yeah.
That was me at the end of Raw Monday. What the fuck is happening in this Roman Reigns CM Punk feud?
You started off talking about the Twilight Zone. And I felt like we've had this conversation before, maybe even associated and attached to the bloodline before, I think. But we talked about, are we like in a freaking Twilight Zone? Before you go, just to start it, I was irritated. And I don't know if you noticed it because I grabbed my phone to write it down as soon as it happened with Jimmy talking to Punk when they were in Gorilla, kind of like, just kind of watch what you say. Like, no, dude, like, to me, that felt off. It felt fake. It felt like Jimmy wasn't on some real shit with him out there. Like, you just let him walk past you and you're like, hey, that's best advice if you don't talk bad or mind your words of what you say about the family. Like, to me, I was like, if you're going to meet him before he walks out, then you need to come on a little bit more aggressive style. Like, all right, you about to go out there and watch what you say. It's a different tone. He just was like,
well, it was more
friendly.
To be fair, it was more of that second tone, but Jey Uso is the crash out. We have to show the yin to the yang. Jimmy cannot grab him by the arm and say, hey, look here, motherfucker. You did it 2 weeks ago. Don't do it again. No.
Then can we just have not had it at all? Can we just not had it at all, though?
No, because we need that that's the reason why the Usos are coming out, because they did nothing in the entire fucking show before that to connect why the Usos still may have an issue with CM Punk. That's why. So it was more of like, hey, man, you probably need to mind your words out there, if you know what I know. That's what that was. I was good with that. I was cool with that. What I'm not cool with, we lost the plot. People say that a lot. And a lot of times it's in jest and it's in tongue-in-cheek, where there really is no plot per se, but we say it, right? Meaning, yo, we really forgot what we're doing here. We're losing recipes. That's another one that we say a lot.
Oh, we losing recipes? I never heard that one before.
Okay.
I like that.
Legit. The WWE has lost the plot, ladies and gentlemen, on this feud. So much so, Rhodesia, I took notes.
What?
Pulled my phone out here. So much so I made some notes.
You pulled a Rhodesia.
And I made notes because I had to make sure I wasn't off.
Okay.
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 First interaction we got was the day after the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Okay. Gold.
Yep.
Perfect. 10 out of 10. No notes. Couldn't be better. Couldn't have been better. You can fast forward me the next day to WrestleMania Night 2 main event, and I am signed hook, line, and sinker on CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. We got the real. We got the backstory. I brought you in. You ain't never shown me nothing. I helped bring you back. I can't stand you. I hate you. I've always hated you. You made my life a living hell going to your friend's podcast. We got everything we wanted.
You should have stayed away.
Okay. That was first interaction. Second interaction was I'm going to bury you next to your father. And we're like, oh, if they're going to use this, they really about to take it up another level. This is going to be the most personal feud maybe in the history of WWE, main event of WrestleMania type, right? Put the knives away. Somebody actually may get shot type thing. That next week, Roman's off. Usos check Punk. Hey, man, talking about family. Jimmy, man, knocks him, hits him, right? Punk finishes that night smiling. The next one was Roman
Old.
not even touching on the dead dad comment whatsoever. Tells the Usos, hey, I don't need an apology, but I am going to go to the ring and get you guys an apology.
Can't do that.
Didn't tell Punk one time to apologize at all whatsoever. Calls Punk old. Punk loses it. Punches Roman. Roman ends that segment smiling and then said he's in Punk's head. See, you just say one thing to him and he snaps. The dots really aren't connecting. But I said last week on this show, I am more intrigued now than I was after that segment, even though I did not like the old line. But I'm like, they got me because now where are they going with this? Because this old line's got to be the thing. Because that is what started the physicality. And Roman said he's in Punk's head. So I'm not going to hit Punk. Until you have something for me, Phil, you're wasting my time. Then we get to this week. Punk comes out and he starts by saying, like, nobody in the family can have this. And he
Matt,
looks down.
I wrote a note. Can I say this? I wrote a note.
Of course you can.
I tell you this. I gotta say this. Punk is just like me. He don't be knowing shit. He don't be watching wrestling either. He said some shit that I would probably say. Like, hey, ain't nobody in that family ever had that heavyweight championship. What?
That's when you kind of just want to raise your hand like we back in school. And the teacher calls on me. Matt, yes? Mr. Brooks? But Mr. Russo had the championship. Last year we actually beat Mr. Gunther and made him tap out. And he held the title for like 4 months and he didn't have any help from his family. So that didn't make sense.
Nope. You know what
then he goes out to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing my best to like do this in a regular form of conversation.
You don't have to, though.
Then this man comes out and says, the old line didn't make me mad. And he goes on to talk about Gordie Howe, Nolan Ryan, all these old players that were still stars and did excellent things. The old line didn't make him mad, even though he punched Roman because he called him old. But the old line didn't make him mad. So then he goes to making sure he talks about Jey Uso. He brings up Jey Uso. Like, he didn't, and then the Usos come out. This thing is so convoluted. I said Monday night, I feel like we are watching these segments out of order.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you were to tell me right now, oh, shit, y'all. You know how, like, Lord of the Rings and, like, Marvel, like, once things happen, you got to watch them in different Star Wars. You got to watch them in different order to see what the real timeline was. Hey, you're watching it out of order. Week 5 is actually week 3, and week 2 is actually week 4, and week 1 is actually week 6. Now go back and it'll make sense.
Yep.
Because as constructed, what are we doing week to week? Now, all of these segments are good on their own, if not great on their own. But when every single week we don't know what the catalyst is for physicality or the beef, what are we doing right now with this? What are we doing? I started by, you said we had to start off with something positive. And I said, I love the physicality. I did. Somebody please explain to me why Roman Reigns is not even out there yet. Right? Roman shows up as if like he was unadvertised. Like, oh, we didn't know Roman was here tonight. No, Roman was advertised. Usos hit the line of like, Roman ain't even out here. Like, I'm out. Jay said, I'm out here. Then Roman Reigns music hits. Granted, he didn't do none of the OTC ones in the sky. We got to get to business. Okay, cool. We saw the Usos in a locker room a couple weeks ago where everything was awesome. Everything was sweet. Hey, it felt good to punch him. Phil didn't. Oh, man, he had it coming, News. We on the same page. Everything is good. I'm going to get an apology for you guys. I'll be back. Which we never got the apology. But now when we are all in the ring together in front of this man who has disrespected my father, y'all relative. Hey, tag match is over, right? Yep. Okay, get out my ring. What? They don't take, hold on a second. They don't take any offense to it.
He said in the least disrespectful way as possible. He cleared it. He cleared that up and said that.
You making Jimmy look like a chump to me a little bit in that moment.
Well, you made Jimmy look like a chump when Punk walked out, but neither here nor there.
Yeah, see, but I'm right. So then they leave the ring, and now Jay is like, yo, get him. And then that's when the physicality starts. This just isn't making sense week to week. I would love somebody if you can tell me how to connect these dots, and I don't need just like a 1 sentence or 2 sentence. I need a breakdown. Now, what I will say is this, Rhodesia, and I'll give it to you. I can see this is some sort of family finish at WrestleMania. Either we're looking at the bloodline getting back together, or we're looking at a massive implosion of the bloodline. One or two. That's where we're heading. Because now Jay has the ear of Roman. According to this. Now, maybe they drop that next week too. I don't know. But according to this, Jay Uso was the one that gassed up Roman to finally do what he needed to do. I've always said if you listen and you watch, they always tell you. Michael Cole said Punk had the physicality coming to him because he didn't say he kept talking shit.
But it was along those lines.
Maybe he said with his smart ass comments. He may have said that
something like
with
that.
his smart ass comments or something like that. Okay, so then the story they're telling is Punk deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Essentially, yeah.
We get fantastic physicality, Superman punch, 2 incredible looking shots thrown into the ring post. Then we get the powerbomb through the table. And we finish with Punk selling in pain, but laughing, saying, no, I don't need the help. He does.
You buried my lead. I wanted to start the show and say, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. Jay don't give a shit about his tag team championships. He said it in that promo. He said, I don't give a shit about those championships.
And they buried that. Like, it was like 5 people in the crowd that got it. It was like, oh, and then they just talked right through it.
That's when I grabbed my phone. I was like, told you, man. Jay don't care about that. But
the only way this makes sense is if, like, this is a shoot for Jay. And, and maybe this is a shoot for Jay because when Jay said, man, he always talking shit. You probably couldn't get any more real than in that moment.
Yep.
So now if you sit here and tell me like, hey, man, we had a whole plan, but Jay keep going out there and like, he is a wild man. I was like, okay, this makes sense then. Other than that. But he did say that. So don't give a damn about
he
these
did.
I
was like, I'm telling you, as soon as he said it, it hit my heart because I'm like, I've been saying it forever. But
and what I would have loved, real quick, please, what I would have loved in that moment, let that moment breathe. Let Jimmy, because this was Jimmy's idea.
Correct.
To get Jay out of his rut. Hey, man, look,
Mm-hmm.
things ain't going right for you.
Yep.
You in your head, man, you know what we need to do. Let's get back together. Let's get this goal. You can get back on top.
Yep.
They let that moment breathe, right? That would have been like, comparison, you'll get it, but not the same. But that would have been like when Jay hit the line with Roman of, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief thinks.
Exactly.
And Roman doesn't give that look. We don't stop.
Yeah.
Right? We go right through that line. That should have been a pause where the crowd is like, ooh. Yep. And then Jimmy kind of looks at Jay and be like,
dog,
wait, so you don't give a damn about what we did together? Then hit Roman's music. Boy.
Right.
Now,
that would have been so better.
Things are starting to make sense in regards to, oh, we got a lot going on here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. These are the layers that we be talking about. This
right?
would be layers. Yep. Except for this isn't layers. This is just like a stew of a whole bunch of stuff that's in it, and it's not actually tasting right now. And you said everything that needed to be said as far as that. My only other thing is, and I think I'm happy that I'm this way too, but it also is like a not a crutch for me, but it's like a disability for me. I need to find another word because that's not proper. But like how you always talk about like you really can't watch wrestling like me, like a regular fan. You watch wrestling a little bit different. I guess the burden for me is that there are a few people in wrestling that I just don't like. And there could just be times of like, there's no reason why you shouldn't like them. But character wise, I just don't like CM Punk. I really don't. And I want to like him, but I just don't like him. So I catch myself every week when he goes out there and yeah, you could call yourself a fighting champion. I don't want you to be a talking champion. Like he talks so damn much and he talks so long. That's why I see why they call him old. Because that's all old people do is talk a lot. And she just talks and talks and talks, and it irritates me. And again, I think it's because I don't like him, because so I'm working myself into a shoot, so I'm now getting irritated and agitated. But I just the the same lines, the bringing up you can't do it by yourself, the just for men, again, the 8 Mile rehashed again. But this time he's just talking about everything, all the low-hanging fruit, so that nobody has nothing to talk about when they come out. I don't like his style, I guess, maybe, of his promo in the ring when it comes to like just talking, just going out there and talk for 3 minutes, go out there and talk for 5 minutes. I don't like that. And like I said, he talked so damn long on Raw that it just irritated me more and more. And that adds to that, Stu. That adds to that, what you said, all of this is just disconjointed. It adds to that because he's not clear and concise for me. He just goes out there and rambles.
Well, so that's what happened. He was talking, his promo was so long, it was getting borderline uncomfortable. But it was only getting uncomfortable because the story, what you're saying doesn't make sense. You just laid hands on Roman Reigns for the first time last week because he called you old. And now you're sitting here telling us a promo about all the old guys that have done great things in sports. Then you should have said, you know what? When Roman called me old, that did bother me.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no secret. I do have these grays. And I'm not dyeing them like Roman dyes his with Just for Men. You just want to get that little dig in. It is true that I got way more time behind me than I do ahead of me. But you know what? And then go into your promo about Nolan Ryan and all the guys, Gordie Howe, that did tremendous things at an old age. And come WrestleMania, I'm pulling one of those. And then you got beat by the old guy. Even that sounds completely different than you just completely no-selling that you were upset, but you're not upset now that you were being called old.
But he went like 6 or 7 minutes of talking.
And that's the thing. And then rambling. He finishes on, what is Jay going to do? Yeet me to death? That line also would hit. And we know Punk is all about blurring the lines of real and kayfabe. That's why Punk is loved so much, right? He says things he's not supposed to say on the microphone, right? He breaks the fourth wall. He does pipe bombs. Brother, you was just on a PR tour a month ago talking about how like Jay is one of the most over acts and like he should be yeeting and he's one of the top merch sellers. Come on. Like, no. People who you are going after this storyline for and with, no, you was just caping for Jay. That doesn't land right. It doesn't land. So,
but I'm okay with that too, because they did have last week or 2 weeks ago now when the twins got involved. So before that, I could see somebody who was saying, well, yeah, he was cool with them, but now after what happened a couple weeks ago, not so much. I'm okay with that, because I guess it just goes back to what I kind of started with, and I just want to bring it back full circle. There's a couple of wrestlers that it just seems like no matter what they do, I just can't see anything good in them. So like when I see somebody like a character, someone like the CM Punk character goes out there, like we gang banging over breakfast. Like everything doesn't have to be a pipe bomb. Everything doesn't have to be like the world is against you, like that kind of energy on it. You could just have, as you said before, just a traditional program back and forth. It doesn't have to be like everything has to be so, I'm going to uncover every single thing, rock, and address this, right? In this, like, we don't need all that, because for someone like me, who I think I actually have a pretty good attention span, you lost me. Imagine somebody who doesn't have that long of an attention span. I guarantee you a lot of people probably can't even tell you everything that he said because he went so damn long. Point is, there are certain people that, he's one of them, where even if that was a great promo, I don't know if I would have been able to be like, oh, that was fantastic, because when I get into my fandom and I hate a character, I just hate them. So I guess that is a good thing, that I still can get affected by pro wrestling like that. But there's no doubt that right now where we're at in the storyline makes absolutely no sense. I feel like, though, we've said this before. We did say this. We said this about the Twilight Zone with The Rock and all of that before. I think from time removed, it doesn't feel as bad. I know over the last few years, when we talk about this time of the lead up to the road to WrestleMania, we always talk about like they got some making up to do. So this is like a constant theme that we've have dealt with, at least since we've been recording for the last 3 years. This is kind of like it. So if Madison Square Garden is the final jump off point, then everything after that has to be home runs, because right now I am confused as shit in that promo. And after they went off air, outside of the most beautiful powerbomb I've ever seen, I was like, see, they done fucked around and gave Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes night 2, because that ain't deserving of night 2 at all.
What was interesting was, so I go online really quick Monday night just to check the temperature. And I saw a couple people talk about how, yo, what are we doing here? This doesn't make sense. But the majority was good and happy with what we got, because it was for them, man, finally Roman put hands on Punk. Finally, it happened. So I guess maybe in totality, maybe it worked. So when I put my phone out and I just really quick wrote down the interactions, right? I'm looking. I'm like, you know what? I think I figured out what happened. The creative team, and I would love for this shit to be on Unreal Season 4. It won't be, because Roman don't mess with that show at all. You ain't never seen Roman on that show for 2 seconds, and he was running from the camera. They had all this mapped out. And it was like, all right, we got 7 awesome weeks of TV. We got the storylines. This is bulletproof. We are good to go. And Triple H looks at his paperwork and he's like, 7 weeks. We have Joe for 8. And they're like, oh shit. We got to figure out then what to do for this extra week that we didn't know we had Joe for.
Oh, wow.
We know we got Joe for the Garden. Boston Garden. I'm old school. I call it still Boston Garden.
Oh, okay.
So what it's called still.
The
too.
Garden. Okay.
Right. That was where they were this past Monday.
Where you just said. Yep. Yeah. Right.
Next Monday is Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're 2 weeks out from Mania. So like those are important too. Hey, so which show is Joe coming to that we didn't have him for? Oh, it's the week before Boston. Well, we're not going to rewrite this entire thing. So let's just figure out what to do on this show. And that's where we get the old line promo. Because now that I've told you that, Rhodesia, I'm going to walk you through what this promo is, or this storyline is, without that week. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, first interaction, day after Rumble, where he says, I'm going after you.
I hate you.
Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next promo line or interaction was the face-to-face. We're shooting on each other, and I'm going to bury you next to your father. That was that one. Okay? Next week, Usos check Punk about talking about our family.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We completely remove 2 weeks ago. Roman has not been back on TV yet. We don't get him putting the hit out with the Samoans yet. We don't get the Usos and Roman backstage in the locker room talked
With
about he
apologies
deserved it. I'm
needed.
going to go out and get an apology for you. None of that happens. We don't get Roman no-selling the father line. Okay? This week, Roman shows up to Boston at the end of the show. You don't announce Roman for the show. Jey Uso hits the line of like, Roman ain't here, but I'm here.
Yep.
Roman's music hits. And we get the physicality. Now it makes all the sense in the world of why we are getting physicality on CM Punk. Because you talked about my dad. Roman is trying to do it on his own.
Right.
Right? And that's why I'm kicking the Usos out of the ring.
Out the ring, yep.
But Jey, who is the hothead, is like, nah, Us, you know what you got to do. No, man, he talking about our family, dude. Like, no, get his ass. Get his ass. And then Roman gets his ass. Now, all of a sudden, man, this storyline makes all the sense in the world. And now we cooking with fish grease.
Wow. They need to be paying you to write. They need to be paying us. Because remember, I get the money directly. They need to be paying you. Like, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yep. So we did get a Brandon. Shout out to my guy, Brandon. Brandon gonna say he's gonna be in the D this weekend. Let's go, baby.
Hey.
I ain't seen Brandon in a while. He sent us a incredible text. Now, granted, Brandon, we may have hit majority of what you sent us, but I'm going to read it and I'm gonna just hit whatever we didn't hit. Super thought out too. Super thought out. So we got to get Brandon back on the show here. Maybe either like Rumble preview or right after or Mania. Or right after Mania. But he said this. He said, because we haven't got to this, so I saved this part. I think Roman should beat Punk. After last night, and he put in parentheses, I know it's early, I don't feel like that is going to happen. I thought it was weird that Roman acted out on the instructions of Jey. He becoming a maniac was weird to me. The way the twins had now been inserted into the story, it feels like Jey is becoming unhinged with an attempt to fuck over Roman.
Oh.
It'd make me nervous if the Usos lose a match they shouldn't lose next week against the Vision. That's for the tag team titles. I say that to ask, is the right story being told between Roman and Jey? Or is this being teased at the wrong time? Are there too many smaller stories planted in what we should be a hyper-focused story between Roman and Punk? Is there too much time to build this match between the Chamber and Mania? Feels like they could be at risk of getting off track. Well, brother, they're already off track. So let's start there. They're already off track. But the big thing from that is Brandon asking, is this the right story being told between Roman and Jey?
Yeah.
And is it being teased at the wrong time? Now, so let's kind of back it up and talk about real life real quick. Roman wanted the story of him and Jey to be told. This was about a year ago, where Roman was coming back saying, to hell with everybody else, you need to worry about yourself, go get the championship, go get the title. Remember, we were telling that story, right? Where Jimmy hit Jey with the line of, man, you starting to act like Roman. There was the story that was supposed to have been, it was a feud and a story with Roman and Jey that we didn't get, that Roman wanted to get to and wanted to have. So that goes to what I talked about earlier of, we can see now this family storyline is just as big or just as important, if maybe even more so, than Roman and Punk. Because we're spending a lot of time on this family piece. So you can look at this in two different ways, Rhodesia. You can look at this as when Roman came out a couple weeks ago and said, got a green light on him. Not WrestleMania weekend.
Yep.
He's mine on WrestleMania weekend. But if you want him before, you want him after, green light. We could see a world where there's hands put on Punk WrestleMania weekend during the main event of WrestleMania. And that could cause Punk to somehow win because the interference backfired. That may be a story that they're telling. Or, of course, they could be telling the story of we get the reunion of a bloodline. And Roman leaves with his hand up with his championship. And that's how we get out of here at night 2 of WrestleMania. I didn't even think until about 1:30 a.m. on Monday night after watching Raw
This is true.
having a spirited conversation with Matt. And he was distraught. I had to talk him off the ledge. He's just like, I think I'm done watching wrestling forever. I can't believe
I tuned both of y'all out.
right? Going back and forth. And it didn't hit me till then. I was like, there could be a chance Roman loses this match.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought Roman was going to win. Because if you're looking at what Brandon said in his first sentence, he says, after last night, I know it's early. I don't feel like that's going to happen. Talking about Roman beating Punk. They haven't shown us anything on TV that Roman's going to beat Punk. Somebody could argue, say they really haven't shown Punk's going to beat Roman either.
Yeah, I don't think that either.
But the seed that they've planted is allegedly Punk's plan is working. Both times he got hands put on him, he finished laughing. So evidently what his foresight is of this family storyline
is happening in his eyes.
Is happening
the way he's planning for.
The way he's planning for it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your thoughts?
There's no doubt that there is a bigger play here, and it is built around family. In all fairness, when Jay had said, "No, go back in there and take care of business," I didn't think much of that at all. I didn't think of it like, why is the OTC taking orders from Jay? I didn't, not in real time. Reading it, the message, hearing it out loud, it's everything that Roman has done since he's been Bloodline and under like the sight of Paul Heyman. Everything is methodical as far as, especially when it comes to Roman, at least. I guess maybe I didn't realize it in the moment because they dropped the ball so bad with not retorting right from the next to your dead daddy. And you followed up with that's something like Roman should have never had said or done. That probably took me off my game. So I didn't even notice it to the point where like he is taking orders from somebody who's not the OTC. Until now. So clearly, even before that, reading that and hearing you say that, I'm like, there's a bigger story here with family that has to be involved, because that is a reason why Jimmy and Jay is constantly involved in this, both of them. Even down to what you were saying, I'm like, why wouldn't Jimmy just not approach Punk before walking out? Well, you got to kind of show the contrast, but why? Because evidently it is a family story. So for sure, there is something going on. Is the timing right? The timing could be perfect, actually, because if it's a situation where Jay or Jimmy messes up Roman's chances after Roman just told you, like, I got this, y'all can have him any other time, then that would be a reason why now we tell this next story of the family and we'll go from there. So it's cool when you have a moment to kind of think about what happened, because I remember in that moment I felt like Twilight Zone. I felt like, what's happening here? Like, I'm confused. I'm just confused. I consider myself kind of intelligent. So when I can't follow a story, like sometimes it bothers me. Like, what am I missing here? Am I like just that dumb? Am I that much of a mark that I'm not understanding and getting it? But now kind of seeing all this take place, I just think some of the things with Punk talking so damn long, and I'm not interested in him talking, that the dots are not being connected. But if I can kind of pull myself away from that, I think that this is a good time for this to happen, if that is the path that they're going to take, Roman losing at Mania, and then now it's more of an issue with him and the twins.
Well, we got 3 weeks, right? We got 3 more Raw shows. We have March 30th, April 6th, and April 13th before Mania. So we have 3 more Raw shows. Like I told Matt, if what I said may have happened in that creative room, and they have this thing mapped out. They worked backwards to front. So they know what they're doing already at the end of that main event. They know what they're doing go home show. They know what they're doing the week before that. Even if you don't have Roman there, I'm not sure. I think he was scheduled only to miss 1 week, I think. Him and Brock had a very similar schedule leading up to WrestleMania. And then that takes us to Monday in Madison Square Garden. They could have this ironclad where it all starts coming together, and by time we get to Mania, we're like, oh hell yeah, okay. They course corrected. They fixed it. Because really at the end of the day, like I told Matt when we were talking on Monday, because he was thoroughly like disgusted. He's like, I just cannot believe the match I was so excited for. The match I spent my hard-earned money to go to WrestleMania for, they are pissing away. I just can't believe that they had something and they're throwing it away. And what I had to remind him was, you don't remember any build 5 weeks out. You remember overalls.
Yeah.
But right now, if I was to tell him the build of WrestleMania 40, when Cody finally beat Roman, hey, what happened 4 weeks before that on that SmackDown show? You don't know.
I'll
You
go back
remember
to the TFW pod.
You remember the big beats though, right? You remember,
Yeah.
oh, well, that was, oh, I remember when, you know, this wasn't that same year, but I remember when Roman cut the promo on Cody and he put the belts down and asked him if he ever had either one of those belts and told him, you know, he connected the story about Dusty seeing something in Roman and teaching him things. And that was stuff that Dusty didn't teach Cody. And Roman finished that promo saying, I'm going to teach you everything your dad didn't teach you. That was when I knew Roman was winning. You remember stuff like that when we talked about at the beginning of the show. You remember The Rock showing up and beating the dog shit out of Cody Rhodes in the rain by his bus and having him bleed when we wasn't getting blood like that on WWE TV. You don't remember the promo that fell flat 3 weeks before that,
right?
Where you were like, damn, Roman just saying the same thing because we just had this feud last year. You don't remember those things. So they still have an opportunity. And from a perspective of intrigue, I'm actually like more intrigued to see these like segments every week than I would be if it was just like not good.
Your bar is low.
You know,
your bar is low. Though. Your bar is low. I can appreciate it. Your bar is low. I do know going forward. So we got 2. You said 3 more Raws. We got 3 more Raws left.
Yep.
Phil Brooks need to cut it down. So whatever he has time slotted for before somebody comes out and interrupts him, cut that in half. I think it'd be much more concise, and then I can be more entertained by it. Because otherwise, you just sound like an old man.
But how about this? How about this though? Next week, honestly, are you looking forward to their segment?
The Truth?
Yeah.
Yes, but that's only because I am going to WrestleMania. Like Matthew said, I spent my hard-earned money to go to WrestleMania. So yes, but if there was nothing there, like if we weren't going, and no, probably wouldn't. Because like I said, they fucked around and gave that main event over to SmackDown.
Yeah, I think it's good enough. It's bad enough to where we can come out here and give it 40 minutes.
But that's content.
Right, on how just like it's not connecting and et cetera, but it's good enough to where we're still looking forward to what they're doing every single week. It's not bad enough to where you're like, I'm out. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, because you got the 2 major players, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, are probably on almost the majority. One of them, if not both, are on almost all pro wrestling fans' Mount Rushmore. So you just off of that alone, off the equity they built in their name, their characters, their career, you have to feel like there got to be more here. So yeah, I don't expect these next 3 weeks to be kind of duds or things where I'm more confused. I do expect you to connect some dots. I do expect you to build this card. Again, you guys are the heavy hitters. You guys are the reason why you putting butts in these seats and getting all these pay-per-view buys, but they don't do that anymore. But let's cash that out now. Let's see how you play that out.
Yeah. Excited for next week. I am. I said it last week. I'm excited again for next week to see what they do. Oh, we got to talk about Gunther. So his last thing, Gunther.
Who?
You know, the guy that retired John Cena, the guy that retired Bill Goldberg, the guy that was going to retire Brock at SummerSlam in August.
Oh, yeah. I think I
that
talked
still
about
may
him
happen.
Today.
But yeah, we got 3 weeks until WrestleMania. He has not been on TV in 3 weeks, ironically. Last time we saw him was he demasked Dragon Lee. And Dragon Lee's been on TV every week since, and Gunther has not. Conversations online about how ridiculous this is, that Gunther doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. What are they doing? Et cetera, et cetera. This one is not on WWE. He was supposed to work Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. a legend, of course, a Hall of Famer. We know that. Rey Mysterio got injured again. So that threw that match out. I think Rey came out and said that he's feeling good. I don't know when he's coming back. I don't know if they're holding out hope that maybe Rey can still work this year's Mania. But Gunther is in a spot where you cannot just throw anybody at Gunther to have a WrestleMania match. Gunther is now in a rarefied air in how he should be looked at and presented right now, because he's
a special attraction right now.
Beat and retired John Cena. He just beat and retired AJ Styles. You do not then just try to give him anybody to work at WrestleMania just to have him on the show. Now, do I want him at WrestleMania? Of course I do. Do I want to see him wrestle a match? Of course I do. But if you cannot find somebody that it makes sense to have him work, then he may just have to miss the show. Right? So, like, for you right now, one, do you agree with that? And then two, if you had to find somebody that is not in a storyline that is already ready-made for Mania, who are you giving Gunther to work at this year's WrestleMania?
I have no clue for number 2. Like, I would have to do some thinking, and it would go back to what I'm about to say in number 1. Do not force anything. Like, I wanted to kind of have a disagreement here on it, but I can't. Gunther is now a special attraction. You know what you're going to get when you are in a program with him. Do not just throw him together with somebody else just to say that you have a WrestleMania match. Years ago, where you got paid more because you were on WrestleMania, how all that kind of has changed with contracts and stuff, because we're not dealing with that, because you're not on a card so you don't get paid. We're past that. There's no reason for him to, if something fell through, because he is such a special attraction. If something fell through and maybe or maybe not, Rey can come back. That is it. If no one else, no, because the only other person maybe to answer number 2 would be Kaiser. But Kaiser is El Grande, and he's fighting the other El Grande. I mean, I don't even know. Well, he's in something with that. I don't know where we're at right now in that whole story. But that's it. That would be the only other person I would think that he would have legitimate beef with, where it would make sense. Okay, 4 SmackDowns away from WrestleMania, that it would make sense. And even, El Grande is on. Are they on the same show? They may not even be on the same show.
They're both on Raw.
Okay, they're on Raw. Okay.
And, okay, but no, but okay, but no.
But he can show up at Mania. He can show up.
No, for that one. I know you say you just kind of threw that one out. And I think a lot of people probably feel that way because they know he's Kaiser.
Mm-hmm.
Grande Americano is not being presented as Kaiser. We know it's Kaiser. Right?
There's no time. Yeah,
so then now you throw away that entire storyline.
Right.
Because why do you have a heel foreigner going up against another heel foreigner? What, Gunther, because I believe in you, El Grande? We going to have a... No, because now everything is being thrown away if you do that. The other one that you could say maybe is Ilya Dragunov, because we know the history of NXT UK and what they've done and what they could do in a match.
Okay.
But once again, how do you get there where it makes sense? For somebody like the Ring General, who is on this run right now of retiring legends and beating up legends' friends who he is retired, unless Ilya comes from SmackDown to Raw to call him out and we get the match, that doesn't really make sense either, because in no world is Ilya going to be Gunther. So now we're doing the match just to do the match. And
right, exactly.
It's WWE. Are we really going to get the match we all know they can put on somewhere in the middle of WrestleMania? This ain't AEW where you like, yo, I don't give a damn. Put that match on the pay-per-view because you know they're going to smoke it and it's going to be a match of the year candidate. I don't know if we get that as constructed right now of a quote-unquote dream WrestleMania match.
And even though he took an L, even though I say his shoulder was up, Ilya, against Carmelo, there's still so much more left with them. There's so much more meat on the bone, as you would say, with that program.
Match?
Yeah. So good. But they're all of them. Again, in like recent time, and I'm not as memorable as far as you're the elephant when it comes to wrestling, but I don't know of that many programs between two people where it's just like a beautiful symphony every time we watch them. Like usually somebody will have a bad night between a program. Like so far, and hopefully this didn't just jinx them. I'm knocking on wood. But every time they go in the ring, it's been 3 or 4 times now. I'm just like, wow. They're like each other's yin and yang.
Let's quick hit some of these things. Let's quick hit before we get out of here. One, shout out to Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer.
Yes.
They went for it.
Yes. Yep.
They went for it.
They were my number. They were almost number 3.
Very high.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see that. They went for it. I mean, that's the best way to say it.
They're my number 4.
And I can tell it when Stephanie came out and we were watching together, and I even said it to you before that segment was even done. Stephanie came out and blindsided Liv, and then I forgot what strike or something happened right after that. I said, "Oh, them girls going for it today," and then they went for it. So shout out to them. As good as that was as bad as AJ and Becky is.
Wait. This last Raw wasn't as bad between them. I think this has been the best. I think this was the best of what we've gotten from them, and I think it was better because they were at different levels and they were pretty much separated. So we could go back and forth if you have the time for it. If you got time today, we can go for it. I thought this was the best of all of them.
Can I just tell you why I hated it?
Sure.
Because this match is being done at WrestleMania, now AJ's got a little bit of trepidation for beating a woman she's beaten every single time since she's returned to WWE, and she's the Intercontinental Champion.
What do you mean by that she has trepidation?
Go back and watch the promo segment if you don't know, because then you didn't
mean like
watch
she's
it for
scared
what
of her?
it was.
I did
go back
watch
and watch
it.
Go back and watch it.
She pretty much said that her daughter, Becky's daughter, she's her favorite wrestler and her favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler and all that. I don't get like.
I know you don't, because you weren't really paying attention. For you to say you thought the segment was okay, go back and watch it, and you got to come back next week. And then
so could you say that this was the best of their back and forths?
What I can say is Psycho Sid Vicious, Sid Justice in the Hall of Fame, baby. That's what I can say.
Don't be cutting me off.
That's what I can say. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Absolutely one of my favorite guys when I was younger. Man, Sid was, you talk about like, he captured my imagination before I even knew what that meant. So did Hogan, so did Warrior, but it was something about Sid, right? No face paint. Sid wasn't a superhero like Hulk Hogan was, always winning. He was a heel. It was just something about Sid, man. Shout out to Sid. Rest in peace, of course, to the big man. Much delayed in him getting in, but he's in. Love it. I love everything about it. So I thought about it, and I was going to ask you, who was the first heel that you remembered you cheered for in wrestling?
I think it had to be The Rock. I think at that time. So at that time, when I first started watching wrestling, it was like, I only saw the pay-per-views, and it would be like at the friend's house. And then I watched SmackDown on UP, and I realized, this is kind of like all the same thing. Because I knew there was another show. Didn't know it was called Raw. Didn't know it was on cable. Like, we're on cable. So for me, I would see it every so often. I was a super casual fan. So I think at the time that I started watching, when Rocky was wearing Versace shirts, I think he was the bad guy. So I would say I got into it because of Rocky. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, mine's actually wasn't Sid. It was Undertaker. Taker was the first heel that I remember that I actually actively was cheering. Not that you're like, oh, something cool about this. I'm talking about like, you're actively cheering. It was Undertaker for me.
I thought Rock was cute though, so I don't know if that's the same. It was just more that he was fine.
Still, the point is he's a heel, right? Like,
yeah. No, I'm saying that I cheered him. That's the point I'm getting.
He may have been like a tweener when you got in. I don't know, but if he was working baby faces, he was slotted as a heel. So I had to shout that out. We got to bring up Bron Breakker. Awesome news. He was at the PC on Monday, being looked at and getting ready to go for it, being cleared. WWE has hope that he can make it to WrestleMania. What a shot in the arm that would be in that WrestleMania card if Bron Breakker can get there. I don't know if that would be enough time for them to really set up Bron Breakker versus Seth Rollins. But the
Right.
money is one of these weeks. He's got all the hoodie guys around him. Seth does. Bron spears Seth. He takes the hood off. It's Bron Breakker. Plays goes crazy, and we can get Seth versus Bron Breakker. But if we can get Bron Breakker on WrestleMania, big time win.
And one quick thing I'll say on that is I am excited on how they're keeping Seth involved in shows. And I don't know if he's cleared or not, but I like the fact that he's not really getting physicality done to him, but he's being physical. But I like how they're still keeping him on TV.
Yeah, for sure. Well, because they're holding out hope that they can still get this stuff going. So
that
was
would make
good.
sense then.
SmackDown, we really aren't going to have a chance to really talk about SmackDown, but I did want to bring up on SmackDown and shout him out at the same time of like, hey man, I need you to go somewhere. Jelly Roll. Shout out Jelly Roll. Shout out to Jelly Roll, because Jelly Roll held down 2 promos, 2 segments, a physicality segment. He's got a match next week. But a little much Jelly Roll. But he did great. And I'm happy for him that they have trusted him in those spots. I mean, that's a really big spot to put him in. Like, he's the voice of reason for Randy Orton. I can't wait till he kicks the hell out of Randy. I mean, till Randy kicks the hell out of Jelly Roll. I don't know if that's coming this week. I don't know if it's next week. I don't know when it is. Because Jelly Roll's going to be on WrestleMania. Jelly Roll's going to be on WrestleMania, unfortunately. Unfortunately. However you want to look at it. He deserves it because he's doing great.
He's taking Gunther's spot, right?
But dude,
we'll start that narrative.
I don't need you telling Randy Orton what he's done is wrong. Like, dude, you ain't the local pastor of WWE. Get the hell out of here.
Well, I thought you was about to well, I can't believe you led with Jelly Roll. But I thought you was going to talk about the 3 stages of fights between my boy Drew and Jacob.
Hey, I mean, look, all I remember from SmackDown was A was Jelly Roll, then it was like B, everything else.
No,
but yeah, I mean,
it was the 3 stages of fight. Like they fought from the beginning, and the fights is just, it was just, they were just doing too much for me. Like Twilight Zone, I think, kind of started at SmackDown because like just the way the show was, it was entertaining. Show was completely entertaining. I wasn't mad that I watched all the hours of the show, but I was like, what is going on here between the fights of Drew and Jacob fighting in front of the fighting in front of other Samoans? Like, you're not gonna like
right, and then they just come back to the MFT. MFT is gone. It was like,
they did
man,
Danhausen,
Jacob like that.
And so
got it.
Yeah, and then you take a Shane McMahon bump off of a building.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to them too. They haven't even. I don't think they've even said what the update is at all.
So kayfabe, they should be dead, right?
Close, very close. Speaking of dead, I think they killed off Toni Storm. And I said, when they showed her on AEW, when they showed her in that shot backstage, and she had the blood leaking around her head, I was like, oh, she's dead. They killed her. They haven't said that they've killed her off yet, but it looks like they're saying she's going to be gone all of this year. But she was just at a signing a couple days ago, and they said she was in good spirits. She didn't look injured. Well, we know she's not injured. Of course, I'm going to just assume and think, hopefully everything is good with her. I'm going to assume that she's pregnant. So if that's what they were wanting her and Juice, man, God bless. Congrats if that's the case. You know, hopefully they come out and whenever they feel comfortable in saying it. But yeah, they're saying she's out all of 2026 in the ring. She won't be available. This is the time to pivot from Timeless Toni Storm.
And that's a perfect way.
Timeless Toni Storm, right?
Absolutely. That's the best way to kill her too. That is the come on. Because how else would you get away from the Timeless Toni Storm gimmick? Beside an amazing death.
Yeah.
When you talk about theater.
And because and the cool thing is, and we've seen deaths in pro wrestling before, right? The characters on screen. This is perfect.
Yep.
Ain't nobody else really in AEW TV you can kill off where you're like, okay, but no, like Timeless Toni Storm died.
Yep.
She got killed. Right. And then she is whatever she is next. But hopefully everything is, of course, awesome with her. There was a rumor, well, not really a rumor, but he tried to pull it back. Rikishi, kayfabe, shoot. Then he gave away that Jim and Trinity had their kid. And then he kind of tried
He's
to
like, no,
backtrack
it's
a
the
little
other
bit and was
kid.
like,
He's
no,
like, it's the
I was
other
talking about,
kid. It's
talking about
my
the
other
other kid. And he was like, shout out to Nathan. He was like, man, we don't know who Nathan is. Like,
Nathan. He called
you
him
know what I'm
Nathan.
saying? That ain't what we
Called
looking
this dude
for.
Nathan.
So we don't know if Trinity and Jimmy had their kid, but pray to
Nathan
God, of
did.
course, that kid is completely fine. We was worried
Yep.
about, she's talking about she was high risk. We knew he had to, be off the road for a few weeks. So hopefully everything's all good with that.
Yeah, praying for that.
And then last but not least, really quick, Orton's promo and actions after turning heel. What'd you think?
Good, because I feel like I'm completely entertained by this Orton version of him. So, and full transparency, and Matt knows this, up until maybe when he came back the last time, and he had got injured again and came back again. So I would say maybe like a year and a half ago. I actually wasn't really an Orton fan. I thought Orton he had his 3 moves of doom, and he didn't connect with me anymore. But it was like he came back like liberated and freer, and that's when we would see it. He came kissing babies. He became this more mature Randy Orton, and when he did that, that's when my fandom for him came back. So there had been a good 10 years where I couldn't care less for Randy Orton. But yeah, I'm eating up anything he's cooking right now.
I agree. I enjoy, of course, everything he did with Matt Cardona.
Yep.
Mark
Didn't he beat him up
Stooge.
twice? He punched him in the back, right? And then
Called him a Mark Stooge and an indie nerd. Can't get no better than that. What I didn't like, of course, was, and I understand, I get it. I understand. But him trying to get the fans to boo him. You're not getting booed, Randy. Let's not even go down the road of calling fans idiots or I don't care about it. Nope. Cut that out. Cut that out your vernacular. I get it. Once again, I understand. I understand you don't want to put your, top babyface and Cody Rhodes in position where you're going to ask for boos from him or for him at WrestleMania. I get all that. You're wasting your time. I would rather you not insult the intelligence of the fans and try to go that way. Just leave out any crowd work of being a heel out of this. Just let your actions dictate your tendencies and things of that nature. And if you do have words that supplements you being a heel, just have those words to the babyface wrestlers. Leave the fans out of it because it's not going to work.
Yeah. It's not. And I guess now that you say that, he did try to do that. And to me, because I'm not going to boo him at this point, I didn't even notice that he was like trying to put any hate toward us. So,
and then WWE, you put the boos. They piped in the boos when they showed the video package on Raw
the replay.
Monday.
Yeah, that was so. Yeah. I don't
it's
like that.
Yeah, that never happened. They were. Randy was like, I was out here kissing babies, signing autographs, and I never felt so empty inside. The crowd was like, hell yeah, Randy. RKO. RKO.
Yep. But what y'all saw on Raw recap was a boo.
Boo. Sit down, man.
I just have one thing. The coals in this fire is starting to turn white. So that means it's starting to heat up. I am excited that Jade Cargill, I can't even get her name out right. Jade Cargill.
What's up, Cade?
I'm just calling her Jade. Jade is now part of a faction. I love it. And it makes more sense. It connected dots for me because I was like, why is she still fighting Meech? And I know that y'all didn't finish off the story, but why are you fighting her? But I actually am very excited to see Jade with some reinforcements. And she don't need them, but I like how it looks too. So I'm happy for that move that they did.
Meechin and BFAB said, if you can't beat them, join them.
Pretty much.
And it was cool because they had showed Jade talking to BFAB after she beat Meechin, the prior SmackDown backstage without saying anything. I was fine with that. But I'm really fine with it. And I hate we're burying this at the end of the show. But we'll clip it up. But the reason why I love Jade having reinforcements in Meechin and BFAB is because now that leaves Rhea all alone. And who is going to come to Rhea Ripley's aid at WrestleMania? Not EO. No, not
finger.
EO.
Broken
the
finger.
EST. Bianca Belair. If and when they decide to put the boots to Rhea after said match is over, and then Meechin and B-Fab jump in the ring, and they start putting boots to Rhea, right? And the crowd's gonna be chanting for EO, EO, EO. And then that EST music hits.
I'm on my own.
And then think about, that is the same arena and stadium she was last year when she broke her finger. Talk about, man, poetic.
Oh, well, yeah.
In a match with Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Oh.
And Io Sky.
Oh.
Right? And for anybody who would say, well, that don't make sense, because why would Bianca turn on Jay? They were cool last time we saw each other. Yeah, but have y'all been seeing how Jay been moving since Bianca's been gone? She ain't moving like she's supposed to be.
Righteous? She ain't moving righteous.
True, man. I'm on my own. You know what I mean? Let's go, Bianca. She back. All right, y'all. We out of here. Shout out to AEW. Like, of course, I forgot to really get to it, but big show tonight. Kenny versus Swerve. Number 1 contender match versus EVP. Whoever wins this match is going to fight MJF at their April pay-per-view. I'm going Kenny. You don't need to tell a story like them. The show is like 3 weeks from now, so you kind of need a match that's going to sell itself just on name value. And yeah, you know, Swerve versus MJF can do that too, but that's 2 heels. It would make more sense for it to be Omega and MJF topping off that show. So looking forward to that. That's going to be good. And of course, y'all know, man, my apologies. This would have been the week to get to Ricochet and Dakota Kai.
Bye, y'all.
Especially with Ricochet and what he said online. You know, we didn't get a chance to get to that, but we'll get to it next week because there are some things in there that I really do want to talk about. So shout out to Ricochet and Dakota Kai. But we are out of here, man. We love y'all. Thank y'all for, of course, supporting, listening, watching, doing that whole thing. We'll be back next week for more wrestling talk. Peace out, y'all.
Bye.